Hi, welcome to Cherie's weight loss journey. Oh my God, I can't believe how late I've been sleeping. I've been sleeping till about noon. I'm telling you, the girl been getting her rest. Right? I guess that's the makeup for all of those intermediate 2 hour, 3 hour sleeps that I was getting previously. But like I said, everything has its way of leveling itself out. So anyway, we got up and of course, the routine is different. It's definitely different, right? When we wake up late. Uh, and so anyway, I decided uh, to I decided to get out because the weather looks absolutely beautiful. It does seem a little cooler, right? My temperature gauge says it's 73 degrees outside, and it is May 4th at 2:30 in the afternoon. Not bad. Not bad at all. So I'm gonna take my dog for a small walk. I'm feeling really concerned. She's been coming across kind of weak, and I'm not used to her ever feeling weak. As a matter of fact, hold on. Because my dog is feeling weak, I'm thinking she might need some bone broth. Okay? That way she can get strong. And it will only taste like water. Anyway, hold on. So yeah, I had to clean out some crumbs from yesterday when I was feeling like I was starving. I don't know why, but I was feeling like I was starving. And I hate that feeling. I really need to rebuke the spirit of gluttony. Rebuke. So here's the thing. Of course, while I have all of these different projects going along, right? And I still have a lot of purging to do. Like I said, once you get, God, I want to say, once you get about 60, it really becomes very clear to you. It becomes very clear that accumulating whatever is it's very temporary. Right? Accumulating whatever after you reach 60 is very temporary. Okay. So then, I know some of us are like, yeah, but we can pass that on to our children. Did you run that by your children to see if they even want it? Most of us don't. We just assume that they're going to like what we like, even though they've never liked what we like. Right? They always wanted something different. Even when it came to jobs and businesses, they're like, no, I don't want to be involved in no casting system. Just because you had that profession doesn't mean that I gotta have that profession. Okay. Understand. I understand. Because I'll be honest, I'll be honest though, when my dad was an engineer draftsman, I loved it. I wanted to learn it, but I was kind of young. Right? But I tried, right? Here I was at 9 years old trying to learn drafting. Okay? Then, when my dad also became an insurance broker. I did that too. Tried it. And yeah, but there's a high cost of doing business, namely errors and admissions insurance. Ooh, yes, the cost of doing business. So anyway, that took me out the game. So I can understand how some people don't want to be casted, then others try to be casted, and yet, there's barriers where they are not able to get into the same thing as what, one would probably call a family business. Okay? So let's fast forward to today. Fast forwarding to today, even a gig work, right? Even a gig work. The barriers that I face is, number one, have an electrical car, right? And have an electrical car that does not go far. Okay. But fortunately, I got sent a flyer today. Well, sometime, but I did check my mail, and the flyer said that they can build you a fast charging station at your home. And I was like, what? And it will only cost a flat rate of $895. I was like, what? Right? So, I found that to be very interesting, right? Because honestly, I really don't want to go back to a regular car, right? When I found out that electrical vehicle doesn't need gasoline, doesn't need oil, doesn't emit pollution into the environment, I'm sold. I might have to find other means of transportation if I want to go long distances. However, how often do I really do that? I mean, yeah, there was times I said, if I had a regular car, I would have been traveling. And true, I would have been gone. Okay, I would have been gone. Right? But let me pull up these windows, because the wind is just blowing little hairs all over the place. So yeah. Even our buses, we have buses that are ran off of, public transportation, let's say public transportation, that are also becoming electrical. Now, some will say all of this electricity is heating up the earth. Is it? Is it? Because even if they speculate that the earth has warmed up significantly, is it because of the electricity, or is it because we are actually moving in space to where we're more positioned in a warmer space in the universe? Okay? So, yeah, that's what I was wondering. I mean, we could speculate a lot of different things. But one thing we do know for sure, especially when we can actually see the pollution and the exhaust coming straight out of these automobiles, especially when we know, dang, don't be in a closed space with your car turned on. You could die of carbon monoxide. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That we know for sure. No speculations whatsoever. And this is what we are admitting out into our atmosphere. Okay? And then we expect our environment to absorb whatever it is that we put out there and clean it up, right? While at the same time, we're chopping down trees. Okay? It don't make sense to me, but when I was watching this lady travel, right? And she's traveling to these old countries like Pakistan and Turkey, right? Those areas are very, very old, right? They got ruins of the Romans and of the Greeks and stuff. Okay, right? And the first thing that I can't help but to notice is, they don't have trees. So Itchy Poo Check came out with this video showing these disc looking like trees and these bottled trees. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and then she's explaining to us how, the only way that this area gets its water is through moisture that gets filtered in the air by these trees down into the ground. I'm like, whoop, I just got a quick science lesson. No doubt. Then when she shows us these bottle trees, and I'm like, yeah, there's the proof. Period, right? So, in these really older countries, you'll see they won't have trees. Even their soil is so dry that it's sand. Okay? All right. So I'm like, okay. And so these people have to build their cities using rocks and blocks. Yeah. They can't use, they don't have the convenience of using, wood and brick like we have, right? So for whatever reason, that I made a mental note of that. And okay. Woo. Now it's 76 degrees out here, and I'm feeling the heat. And I'm like, wait a minute. We are not going to be able to walk somewhere where there's not no tree cover, because I'm dressed. I was dressed for 70 degrees, not 80, for 70 degrees. So, yeah. Which brings me back to the point, right? So, I've been talking about how I've been seeing, we've been kind of developing what I would call water holes, right? This is where, instead of wasting or, excessively polluting our water system, they would prefer for you to go someplace where, you're not, adding too much detergent or wow. Okay. That was interesting. Got to do what you got to do to let the fire emergency vehicles get underway. Yeah. So that takes me back to a video that I watched about I don't know, it was somewhere over there in Europe, right? And their coastal line was full of suds and detergent, and it was so thick that it was like foam on top of the ocean, all along the shorelines. And I think we need to be concerned about that, because yeah, we don't want our coastal lands to be like that, for sure. I mean, it's bad enough that we have a bunch of trash on our coastal lines, but can you imagine, a whole foot of detergent foam on our coastal lands? That's, well polluted. Don't think that, that was a way of washing the ocean. No, it isn't. So yeah, I woke up feeling a little different today. Definitely. I woke up later, feeling a little different. I did my lightweight exercises. And now I'm getting out to take a walk and make sure that my Snoopy girl, stays healthy. Like I said, she's been moving really slow, and I'm very concerned. Very concerned. Because not only is she moving slower, but she's also sleeping a lot more. And it concerns me. I'm concerned that, our days together might be numbered. Her sniffer and her eyesight is definitely on a decline. And it is what it is. So one of the things that I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to boil her some bone broth. See if that gives her some extra protein. Keep her keeping for a lot longer, okay? Yeah, she's been my companion now for 15 years plus, probably. major part of, my reality at this time. There's a part of me that says I should get another companion. If I get a dog, then she'll be able to coach the dog and do a lot of the training for me. Yeah. Basically letting, the new animal know all of the rules. Okay. Although, I'm also wondering if maybe I should not get an animal and then free myself up to start traveling more. And that's a hard decision, especially what's been going on when it comes to some of these travel restrictions, right? The biggest one that seems to be bothering people is the fact that people aren't taking TSA seriously. Okay? When they tell you to declare everything, they're not taking it seriously. Right? They might think that, it's none of your business to know how much money I have. And then, oh shoot, there's a lot of people down here. I don't know if I want to walk with a lot of people. And it's so beautiful down here also. Yeah. And it's starting to get warmer. 76 degrees. Yeah. So actually what I'm thinking I might do is maybe nix the walk down here by the lake and opt for walking around the park. I have been thinking about hey, there's no parking spaces here either. Okay, so that there decided things for me. We're going to, no baby, we're going to go to a park. I cannot take it, right? So I got my protein shake here, which I've added my collagen and creatine and a pinch of fiber. And I've been thinking about what I want to cook later on. And what I want to cook later on, because of course, I watched this other lady and she was over there in France and she bought herself a quiche. And I'm like, yeah, a salmon quiche sounds pretty good right now. Sounds pretty good. So I am thinking I might go ahead and cook a salmon quiche. Now, if I do a salmon frittata, then that's like a quiche, but without the crust, the pie crust. All right. So if I go to the store, I can buy some ready-made pie crust and actually make, a quiche pie. Oh yeah, it's really crowded down here. It is really, really crowded. So then, even though I have cheese, there was a part of me that wanted to not just use regular cheese. I can use regular cheese, but I kind of want to use some cottage cheese. It sounds like that would be so delicious to me, to have a salmon quiche with tomatoes and cottage cheese. It sounds like the combination would be delicious. And it will also, in my opinion, probably keep the salmon moist. Now, cheese might not necessarily do that, right? But cottage cheese, so I'm thinking about adding a small cup of like a half a cup or 3/4 of a cup of cottage cheese, and then maybe a cup of regular cheese, right? Because when you're making the quiche, you're using like 4 to 6 eggs, just depending on how much you're gonna make, right? And I'm thinking, well, if I make more than what will fit into the pie, I can make like some little frittata bites. Something to snack on, because I'm a snacker. I am. Ain't no doubt about it, right? And it's been on my mind, how I should cook this quiche to make it different. Now, like I said, I can go ahead and make frittatas, or however you say that in Italian, right? And I'm not sure. And I can just leave out or try to run in for a small container of cottage cheese and run out. Can I do it? I don't know. Okay? Anyway, my mind, right? And if I do that, I'll be eating salmon for like days, and I'll probably have to freeze some of it. Because I'm telling you, day 2, I'll have to pretty much force myself to eat the same thing more than 2 days. Unless it's something decadent. If it's something decadent like, what is decadent for me? Decadent to me would be like gumbo. I could eat gumbo, at least 3 or 4 days. Right? Especially if it has fresh everything. Fresh crab meat, sausage, shrimp. Yeah. Let me not even think like that. Stop. Gotta put the brakes on. I hadn't had gumbo in such a long time. I hadn't had salmon jambalaya. Have you ever ate it? Oh my God, it's so good. It is so good. Okay? Yeah. But I'm trying to be healthy. I am. Right? And even though you might say, oh, the food that you are talking about, they sound very healthy. Yeah, that's not the problem. Portion size would be the problem. Because I overindulge in the things that I like. I do. And then the fact that, I don't like it after it's gotten cold one time. Like that fried food yesterday, I had to ask myself, why? Why are you riding around eating like this? And you don't care if there's crumbs everywhere. Well, here's the thing. Fried foods, you definitely have to eat it when it's hot or warm, whatever, right? That's the best time to eat it. Reheating to me is it's okay, but it is not gonna tantalize my palate. All right, it's gonna make me feel like I'm doing the food a favor. Yeah. Okay. So and then even if I don't do none of that, I can make salmon croquettes. Right? If I make salmon croquettes, then I won't have to do nothing spectacular. Nothing, right? All I'll need is what I already have at the house. I have everything I need at the house to make salmon croquettes. I love salmon croquettes. And like I said, I think it was just seeing that lady salmon croquettes is starting to sound like it might be the best choice, because I could make the croquettes, refrigerate what I don't use, and then just cook it fresh again tomorrow. Because like I said, I really have a problem with day-old food. Okay, so I went ahead and I paid my electric bill. Thankfully, my electricity was almost $70 lower than it was last month. Yay! Okay. Dang, it's 77 degrees now. Yeah, I'm glad we're not getting out there and walking, because I definitely need to, I need to just change into some shorts and a short sleeve shirt. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think since I'm right back at the house again, instead of walking around here uncomfortable of being warm, I probably just need to go home, find some cooler things to wear, because it was cold in the house. Yes, it was. It was cold in the house, but it is hot out here. Like I said, it's almost 80 degrees. And we still have 2 hours that the heat can actually get hotter. Okay? So, yeah. I think that's the best decision. The best decision is probably to just go ahead, go home, change your clothes into something cooler, and then probably just fix the salmon croquettes, because the quiche I will have to turn on the oven. And why would I turn on the oven when it's so warm? I don't think I want to do that. So, yeah. I think if I was going to make the quiche, I would have to wake up early in the morning and start it. That way I can finish cooking before it starts to get warm. But that definitely wouldn't have been today, because today we didn't wake up until almost 12 o'clock. So, what? Yeah. That's what we're going to do. The lake was too full. I'm not going to go to the lake thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to go where it's nice and peaceful and calming, and it's not. If there's too many people there and people are, doing what they do, it could be okay. But of course, you're going to have people who are picnicking, and they're going to have their music, and, they might have their dogs off a leash, and yeah. So, we're not going to do that. And besides that, there wasn't any parking. That's how full it was. Yeah, and I'm starting to get really warm right now. And I would put down the windows, but my hair would be blowing this way and that way, and nah, I don't want to do that either. So let me just go home and put on something a little cooler. Oh wow. Is Office Depot going out of business? I think Office Depot and Office Max is suffering financially. Okay. I was watching this video by this Nigerian woman who got denied entry into United States. And if I hadn't seen this other video where this African woman was talking about how America had loaned Nigeria money so that they could develop, right? And America, has been trying to call in their loans that they have out, that they had given out to other countries. And these other countries are saying, no, they don't have the money, right? Now, this really makes me think about how people act when they get into debt, right? How some races, they feel a certain kind of way about paying off their debts, whereas other people, they don't want to pay back their debts. They want to they want you to forget about what they owe you. Right? And so this is one of the main problems that America has with several countries, because when America said, hey, we need that money that money we loaned you, we need some of that back. A lot of these countries said, we don't have it. Hold on. Okay, I cannot tell you how much better I feel. Whew. I think I was roasting and didn't even know it. All right. So, we did make up our minds. We are not doing quiche, and we are not turning on the oven. No, we are not. We are going to have salmon croquettes, and the decision has been made. So tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, and that could be another reason why there's a lot of people out, right? Cinco de Mayo actually is falling on a Monday today. So, yeah, Cinco de Mayo. So, yeah. So we got some pretty good events going on, in May. We have the Cinco de Mayo. We have Mother's Day. We also have Memorial Day. Holiday at the end of the month. So, yeah. Things just keep happening. Oh my gosh, this feels so much better. Then I had to spray on some sunscreen, because I'm a little pale. Yes, I am. You know what? I am going all the way down here thinking that that's the only place I can go where there's walking available and tree covering. I completely forgot about my own neighborhood. Now, I didn't completely forget about my own neighborhood, but a lot of times when you're walking like the actual neighborhood, right? There's all of these dogs and stuff barking and carrying on. But it just occurred to me that I could go not too far out of my neighborhood, have plenty of tree covers and shadows and stuff to keep me cool, and it's a very beautiful scenic trail that's paved. Yeah, that's where we're going. We're gonna go there. That's where we're gonna go. Like I said, sometimes we just gotta do things differently, and if we really allow ourselves, the ability to think about it, and then do it, it all works itself out. It all works itself out. So yeah, we're gonna walk someplace completely different. Not completely. I've walked this trail many, many times in the times that I have lived here over 20 some years. You best believe I've explored some areas in my own neighborhood. Goes around because he's getting on my nerves. He is up on my tail like I don't know, like he's in a hurry. I gotta get somewhere. 4x4. Oh my gosh, most of the parking spaces are taken here. Oh, I see. There's one. There's one parking space. They're out here doing cricket. That's some foreigners. I mean, if they really want to find out where the foreigners are and pick them up for ice, all they have to do is find out where they're playing cricket. Yes. If they go to where they play cricket and soccer and they bring the proper authorities and start asking people for their papers. Now, we in America, we didn't have to really walk around with papers in the past, right? Because our borders was fairly secure, and we didn't really have to walk around with papers. But let's be honest, that might not be the same way as it was. You know, we might have to be a population just like other people, you know, having to walk around with paperwork, our IDs, you know, proving who we are and that we had the right to be here. Whose fault is that? Anyway.